Welcome to the Late Night Reads podcast, where the two of us obsessively chat about the books that we can't stop reading, the ones that kept us up all night.
The books that pulled us into their world and made us feel like we are the main character.
The ones that we can't stop thinking about or talking about even long after we finish them.
The books with the massive game-changing cliffhangers that we need to talk about with someone else.
So if that sounds like you, then welcome to your new favorite weekly podcast. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Megan.
And we're the hosts of Late Night Reads, and we're super excited you're here. So let's do some introductions so you know who you're going to hear from every week.
So I'm Megan. I live in Southern California, married to my college sweetheart, and we have 3 little girls and 2 little golden doodles. And I first got started into this whole genre with Twilight, honestly, because Team Edward. And I loved that whole romance situation going on there, even the love triangle at sometimes. So that kind of led into other things when a friend gave me Akatar. And I was like, what is this book? It's kind of like, in the beginning. But I kind of feel like that's just how sometimes things go, where you're just kind of like not in the mood. And then things start to get spicy, and you're like, okay, I'm a little turned on to this now. And then next thing you know, you're like reading the entire series and you just can't stop. The can't stop, won't stop. And that's how we got here.
And then you get someone like me sucked into it too, because you posted about it on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should read that book. And then I do. And then here we are. Now we're talking about it on a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm Stephanie. Been married to my husband for 20 years. I got 4 kids, 3 dogs. I'm sure you'll hear from them at some point in the show. My dogs, not my kids.
Yes. No, we don't want to hear the kids in the
And
show.
and we had this idea for a podcast, reached out to Megan because she was the first person I could think about doing it with. And she was like, oh my God, yes. And here we are.
Yes, here we are. And we're going to talk about what to expect with our show. We're definitely going to be talking about the contemporary romance, but of course, the romantasy books. We're going to cover a new book every week. We're going to alternate between the 2 genres. And we're going to do a book a week because we read a lot. And we know that you guys like to read a lot too. So let's just keep it honest and just keep going.
So every Wednesday, we'll drop a new episode. We'll deep dive into plot, character development, tropes, themes, more. We're going to talk about what we loved, what we hated, our insights, and super strong opinions. So think of this as a show where you're having a conversation with friends immediately after you finish reading the book and you want to share literally everything that's on your mind. And we'll do all of that with absolutely no filter.
Yes, it's definitely not safe for work. You have been warned. We're adults. We're going to talk like adults. We read adult romance and fantasy books with all of those sexy, hot, spicy scenes. And let's be honest, you know you want to talk about them. So we're going to, in depth.
In depth.
Yeah.
And there will be spoilers. So we'll remind you at the beginning of the episode that we're going to talk about a book, but we're going to assume that if you're listening, you've read the book. So listen accordingly.
And we'll also make sure to point out any trigger warnings for the books we're covering. We'll include that warning on our reading list, which you can see online, and you'll have plenty of time to read along with us. But yeah, just want to let you know what's going to be happening.
So finally, sometimes it's just going to be Megan and I, and sometimes we're going to bring along some friends, and that's where you can come in. So you'll have an opportunity to share your thoughts, ideas, crazy fan theories with us. And we'll also have opportunities for some of you to join us as guests on episodes and deep dive into books with us.
And we're working to build more than just a podcast. We're hoping to build just a community of book lovers who want to chat with us every week.
So to get started, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We're going to share a ton of videos and content that we think you're going to love. We are Late Night Reads podcast on those channels.
And you can visit latenightreads.com to check out our reading list, read the quick synopsis of the books we've read, and so much more. Plus, you'll be able to reach out to us directly to share your thoughts and theories on the books we're covering and sign up to be a guest in a future episode.
We'd also really appreciate it if you can leave us a rating and review. As a new podcast, rating and reviews help new book lovers find us. So please take a minute to drop a 5-star rating and leave us a comment.
And then join us every Wednesday to dish on the books that keep us up late at night. Our first full episode is going to drop on April 2nd, not April 1st. We're not going to fool you. We are going to be real. April 2nd.